ranking in Google, the map results, your name. All of these things are not mysterious. You do not need abracadabra, hocus pocus from an SEO expert. My hope is by the time we're done today, you're going to see this is super practical. There's things that you can do, your caregivers, things that have nothing to do with agencies, and you're actually the best position to be able to do this. Do we have enough people? We should get started.
Yeah, and let me introduce you to everybody who, if they don't know who you are. Dennis and I go back nearly 20 years, I believe it is at this point.
Yeah.
Back when, hold on a second, it actually kind of funny because I think this will be clear. When my book Waiting for Your Cat came out, we actually had a coupon on here from Yahoo. I don't know if anybody can see that. And at that point, Dennis was still a search engineer at Yahoo.
Brian, this is not your show.
No, not at all. But I'm just saying, it's like that's how far back Dennis and I go, back when Yahoo was actually really relevant. Dennis has gone on to do some really amazing things, not only in local search, but obviously in Facebook marketing and all marketing, and with a mission to train 1 million virtual assistants as well. And that's why he was talking earlier about his trip to Pakistan. You may have heard about his $1 a day strategy. Today he's going to also talk to us a little bit about his 4-step content model factory. But his main purpose is one, which is, like myself, we have seen way too many agencies charge people fortunes without delivering results. And he really wants to put kind of the control of your marketing, especially today with what's going on, back into our hands as the owners of our offices. So I asked Dennis if he would be willing to join us in the new year, knowing we're about to get new websites, knowing that there's all kinds of good things happening, if he could share that wisdom with us and to show you how easy it is to start increasing your visibility and getting more leads.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. And don't get me started on agencies ripping people off and SEO experts and that whole kind of thing. And I feel like Brian and I are kind of like the police, where we're fighting these other people because we're publishing factual, practical, common sense, plain English explanations of these things. So Brian asked me, hey, can we do a training here for the franchisees? And I said, sure, anything for Brian. So my hope is today you will see that all things Google, like ranking in Google, the map results, your name, Nalima, all of these things are not mysterious. You do not need abracadabra, hocus pocus from an SEO expert. My hope is by the time we're done today, you're going to see this is super practical. There's things that you can do, your caregivers, things that have nothing to do with agencies, and you're actually the best position to be able to do this. Now, the operation mechanics and some of these things can be done by a young adult that works for you, maybe your son or daughter, maybe someone from the local high school, maybe a VA from the Philippines or Pakistan. But it's not that I hate agencies. I'll not say any more about that because I think they speak for themselves. But I just want to arm you with what you need. And there's nothing here to sell. I'm going to give away everything I have. We have trainings, we have guidebooks, we have everything. So just open book, whatever you want. Okay. I've done this many times. Brian has done this many times. The biggest thing we have to overcome is this idea that, well, I'm just an entrepreneur or a caregiver, or, I don't know anything about tech. I'm too old. This is something I want to give to an expert. Like, if we can just overcome that part, you're going to find this is not a big deal. Does it sound fair? Okay. Now, that said, I will use some technical babble. There's just some terminology in the industry, and so I'll just use some of those things. But if at any point I say something that doesn't make any sense, will you please speak up? Yeah? Okay. And the migration to a new website, that's good. There's a lot of good and bad things about that, but there's a lot of things, as you'll see, based on how SEO actually works, that it has nothing to do with the new website. So don't think like, oh, well, we can't do anything until we have this new website. So don't be paralyzed by things like that. All right. So the first thing is, let me go to this other thing here. We have this. Oh, this is how you hire a VA. Here's a 190-page document on hiring a VA, which you can look at another time if you want that. There's this 4-stage content factory. So think about it like this. I've lost 56 pounds in the last 10 months. I went from like Walmart red cart fat to like, oh, he's just like slightly chubby. And imagine that I went to East. Is it Issa? Essa?
It's Isa.
Isa. Imagine I went to Isa and it said, Isa, you're a professional weight loss expert. Instead of a search engine optimizer, you're a scale optimizer, a bathroom scale optimizer. And I pay Esau, $3,000 a month. Can you help me lose weight? And you're just going to optimize my scale, because the scale is this complex piece of machinery. It has all kinds of things in it, electronics. And I don't really know anything about the scale. I just want to lose weight. So I'll just pay you $3,000 a month, Esau. What do you say? And then just magically, because the scales change all the time. There's all this technology. I don't have to do anything. I just pay you and you're going to help me lose weight, right? And when I step on that scale in the morning, I'm no longer going to be mad. It's going to show me a better number. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
No, well, why not? I mean, I don't know anything about scales. I'm just going to hire a bathroom scale optimizer, right? I mean, I just want the number on the bathroom scale to say a lower number, right?
Absolutely.
So why is that BS?
Well, it's clear. You're not really processing or doing anything worth it's no value proposition there effectively.
Yeah, because there's things that you have to do with your own diet and exercise and behavior and that sort of thing, right? And Mitch is nodding. I see that. So it's the same thing here. So you see this four-stage content factory. There's things that you have to do as a franchisee. And we worked with a lot of franchisees. I won't name drop, but these are the biggest brands out there. Brian knows who they are. We worked with a lot of the same companies. So you as a franchisee have to get everything here in this first purple box. So stories and reviews and, just like what Brian and Stacy have done. You don't have to do like professional videographer interviews, but just little things from a day-to-day standpoint, ideally short little videos that are a minute long, or long form videos like interviewing people on Zoom. You don't have to be a podcaster, sort of expert author kind of person. I know when you look at like Brian and I, we've, done a lot of speaking and writing, and that you don't have to be that. But what Google's looking for is the signal of that you actually do what you do. So if we see that you are in, here, I got these ones already open because Brian gave these to me. You're in Scottsdale. Then I need to know, what are your favorite places in Scottsdale? Scottsdale is a cougar town. And, you've got bars and restaurants. I don't mean cougars at the zoo. These are equally dangerous. But, we talk about Scottsdale and what we like to do in Scottsdale. And then you can see these communities within Scottsdale, or actually not within Scottsdale, because I have a house in Gilbert, Phoenix, other areas. So these are other kind of neighborhoods within the Phoenix area. So you have to show, like, if we've got a client in Chandler, let's say, hey, we've got 5 people in Chandler, five senior care clients in Chandler, and I like Chandler because it's right next to Infusionsoft, whatever it might, you need to show the signal to Google that you actually are in the Scottsdale area. So if you provide home care services in Scottsdale, there's things around Scottsdale and there's things around what, home care, mobile. What are the different terms people are looking for, right? You need to have that actual content. So I like to start with videos. I don't mean just, we'll just have ChatGPT generate all this stuff about the 10 coolest places to be in Scottsdale. Or if you're a senior citizen, I like to go, these are the trails I like to hike in Scottsdale. I'm not saying that. I'm saying your actual experience. So Brian knows that Google changed their guidelines to us. It used to be called EAT, E-A-T, and they added an extra E. So it's EEAT, and that stands for experience, which is what we're looking at here, expertise, authority, and trust. This is not some magic, meta tag, say the keyword as many times as possible. There's all kinds of tricks in the world of SEO to try to trick Google. Don't do that. Some of them still work. I won't go into what they are unless you guys really want to, but the bottom line is Google wants to know you actually do what you do in the city. And so by being a local service business, you need to show a clear signal in that city and in the service you render. So if I'm a Portland pest control company, I need to, if I am a Denver veterinarian, you understand, like, I need to show that intersection of those two. And so when there's lots of little stories on social media, on whatever, just podcast interviews, articles, and Brian and I own a number of sites. I own a #1 free ebook site, by the way. I got 1 million visitors a month from Google organically. You type in free ebook, I'm #1. If you guys want to produce an ebook about something, whatever, I'll put you on my site. It's a domain rating 75. For those that don't do SEO, that's really powerful. If you do box number one, here's the main point. You put the items into a Dropbox, Google Drive, whatever, into the box number one, then it can be processed, meaning using various tools to turn them into stage three here, YouTube's and a book and Facebook and your Google My Business and Instagram and Reddit and Quora, all the different places where you can publish the content, right? You can use ChatGPT as a tool to be able to process it. And then when it gets published to these different places, like Twitter, for example, then you can run $1 a day, which is our technique, which is getting more traffic to that against the keyword that you want. And if there's an intersection between that keyword or the search or who that person is with that content, that's called relevancy, which Google calls a quality score and Facebook calls a relevance score, but it's the intersection. So how do we determine relevance? Well, Google calls it CTR, click-through rate, and the social networks call it engagement rate, like how long they watch the video. Like you put it on YouTube and we have the right content that actually appeals to people who are taking care of their mom in Austin or whatever. If they watch that video for a long time, if they click on the video, if they comment, if they click on the search result, that is a high engage. That's like a high signal, like, oh, this matches up very well. It's very relevant to that user, not because it's shot in 4K with a $10,000 camera or any of that kind of stuff, right? It's that super relevancy. So when we drive more traffic and it has super high engagement, that sends a signal to Google or Facebook or TikTok or whoever that, yeah, this is good content. Not because some SEO expert did some weird hocus pocus, ESA bathroom scale optimizing. Okay. So stages 2, 3, and 4 can be done by somebody else. My argument is you can hire a virtual assistant or your son or daughter or somebody to do stages 2, 3, and 4 if you have stage number 1. So what do you guys think about that concept? Is saying, look, the result is I lose weight. The result is that I rank in Google. What you do is you do a good job taking care of clients and you get 5-star reviews and your mobile caregivers that go around, they introduce, hi, I'm Stacy. And this is, they make little videos along the way, right? All of this is raw content showing you actually do a good job, right? Maybe a background checks for these folks. Maybe you guys threw a Christmas party. Maybe, there's all kinds of stuff that show that you are good at doing what you do in your city, right? And then someone else can come in and run it through stages 2, 3, 4. The result of doing these 4 stages is that you rank in Google, but you don't do SEO. You don't do bathroom scale optimization. That's the thing that these SEO experts don't want you to know. And even they don't understand this concept themselves because they think it's all about these SEO tools and magic and subcontracting it out to other subcontractors who sub it out to someone else on Fiverr for $5 and then buy you garbage links and do all sorts of nonsense things. Is everyone okay with that? Because if we are, then we're going to have a great time. But if not, let's stop and talk about this for a minute, right? Is everyone okay with this idea? Does this make sense? Is there anything here that's confusing? Can you just humor me and put a 1 into the chat if it's good? If it makes sense. Put a 2 if you're confused.
Yeah.
Hey, Mitch.
Door number 3. Dennis, it makes sense to me to get yourself out there to create the content.
Yes.
I mean, where else does it come from? It has to come from somewhere. Let's put ourselves in the middle there and get that into kind of your routine. It's just part of who you are and what you do. When you mention that, it's not just enough to do the content. It's to do it in your city, right? Is that geography like a critical piece to this?
Oh, yes, because what we're trying to do, like, so Mitch, do you play a sport like basketball maybe or something? Let's just say. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like to, let's say that, ethics aside, you just want to win. Would you rather compete against a bunch of 3rd graders or a bunch of like 6'4" Sammy NBA kinds of players to win? Your goal is to win the basketball game.
3rd graders all day.
Okay. So it's a lot easier to win. In what city are you in?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha. Would you rather, is it more competitive in Omaha, Nebraska, or would you rather compete against the entire planet?
Omaha. I'll take Omaha 3rd graders.
Sammy's 6'5". Good grief. He's going to make it to 7 feet.
I got to stay away
I'd rather,
from him,
look, I only want to compete against other businesses in Omaha, right? Like, why would you make it any more competitive than you need to? So here is the amazing thing. This should give all of you like, like the light shines down through the clouds and the angels are singing. In the world of local service businesses, you only need to win in your geo category, right? In Omaha, home service, home health care, senior care, mobile senior care, Omaha, suburb of Omaha times whatever, right? Very easy to win. This is not even fair. It's like child's play. This is why we coach so many agencies to help these businesses, because they don't seem to understand that we got to get the content. So really you're just, I'm coaching the agencies to get the content. And then, there's a little bit of like self-help kind of like encouraging them, but I don't think you need an agency for any of this stuff. Okay. So let's go to, what do you want to rank on, Mitch? Omaha senior care, mobile senior care. What do you want? Let's see. Keyword difficulty is not even there. It's 0 basically. How about Omaha senior care?
Okay.
Because you're not a senior facility that's mobile, It's medium competitive, but it's not that hard. And then you can see these other ones. Oh, visiting angels. Okay, fine. There's these other guys, right? Senior care Omaha. But this is there's just so many things within senior care. You're not even trying. Senior care is even bigger than what you do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis, what are you looking at? Can I get this? Can I just regular guy Omaha?
Yeah,
there's
a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of these tools. I intentionally am not, because we teach classes on how to use these different tools. And then people that do this for a living, they'll say, yo, I like to use this tool for that. You end up going down this rabbit hole of all these tools. But basically, all of these tools, these SEO analytics tools, will tell you how competitive a keyword is. They'll tell you like where the links are coming from. Like here's the place at home at the top level, and domain power and the backlinks and all this kind of stuff, who we're competing against, right? And they offer, all of them do this. They offer some like free version, which gives you like a little bit, but it's really annoying because it doesn't really give you enough, or they only let you do like 3 searches a month or something like that. And then you have to pay a couple $100s a month to actually get the real thing, which I pay a lot of money across a lot of tools. If any of you guys really want, like, I can add you to our thing here. I think I pay like $30 a month per user, but it's cheaper than having to buy the first the first license might be like a few $100s, and then it's like whatever. But if you want, like, I can give any of you guys, I'll just pay for it. I think sharing, they sort of lock down on it, because they see like if I give out like one login, then they'll find like, oh, it looks like multiple people are trying to share. So I can just give any of you guys access to this for a month. I'll just eat the $30 per whatever. If you really want to do it, I'll pay for it so you can come in and see all these things I'm talking about. And all the tools do this. All of them have this thing where they give you something for free, but then you have to pay to actually get the thing you want to see, right? Like here, I want to see the keywords that the top level ranks on. So you can see 2,761 keywords for the top level. So of course, ranking number 1, a place at home. Of course, number 1, a place at home. You rank on your own name. Of course, you're going to rank on your own name. You better, right? So at home, this, a place at home, Little Rock, right? That's good. 40 people a month. And so these are all called brand searches. At home, the Woodlands, at home, Denver, 200 people a month. Although I guess, is there a franchise called At Home? Is that like a good,
it's a furniture
like
store,
dollar store kind? Yeah. Okay. Well,
at home. Yeah.
So become CNA. Okay. Medication pass certification. Low competition, green. Keyword difficulty is 12, right? 70 per month. We're getting 5 of them because we're in position 5, right? So you can see like all of this, right? Here's even a phone number. What is this? Who is this? Westchester, 8050 Beckett Drive. Who's searching that? Who knows why people walk for hours? You can see there's all kinds of random things people are searching on. So the only way to get this is you have to pay for one of these tools. I mean, Search Console, Google has this thing called Search Console, which shows you some of the data. And then Google Analytics, which is free, shows you some of the data, but they hide most of it from us for reasons that don't make sense. So anyway, what we were saying was that,
thank you.
Yeah, I'll just like send me an email, dennis@blitzmetrics.com, and I'll just add you to this thing. I'll eat the $30. You can have 1 month. And if you really like it, or if you're a young adult or whatever likes, then you can just send me $30 a month or whatever, and just to cover the cost of paying for the thing, But I'm not trying to train you guys on how to use all these tools. Today I want you to understand the concepts, and then If you want, like our guys can run the reports for you and whatever it is, they just however we can be of service. Okay. Okay. So where we were is that you guys, as in everything related to your entity, you as the franchisee, the other staff that you have, that you need to create these signals, ideally in video, that are independent of whether it's YouTube, TikTok, whatever it is. Okay. It just needs to be created once. And then if it's processed the right way, you don't have to create content separately for Twitter versus Facebook versus whatever, okay? Unless you're trying to become a YouTuber or professionally trying to be a creator, whether you make money off of ads, which is none of us here. We make money off of our actual services. So, because people will say, no, Dennis's strategy where, you can't produce the same content for LinkedIn as you can for Facebook. And yeah, if you're a professional creator, maybe like you're a YouTuber, but if you're not like the rest of us, then just this model works very, very well. We're good on the idea of these 4 stages. And everyone has put in a 1 here. So, okay. So I'm assuming then you're all good then. Okay. So I'm going to keep going.
Hey, how you doing? I put a chat in real quick, just a question about content creation. You mentioned location matters. Do you mean that let's say you're making a video. The video should be created in the location you want to promote because
Arturo?
because they're using geotags on the actual video itself to see where it was created.
Yeah. So Arturo, what city are you in?
We're in Montclair, New Jersey. So close to New York City.
Okay.
So
have I been to Montclair? I don't think I have, but I'll just say New Jersey. Okay. So I'm in my Google Photos. So you can use this app. Yeah. And I have an iPhone too, so I can do the same search on Amazon Photos, Google Photos, iCloud Photos. Okay.
So they're using those tags when they index this information for searching. And
this helps a little bit. Yes. It's not like a secret weapon magic pill, but it helps.
And what about the content of it? Are you supposed to mention within the content itself your location? So is that something they also index by analyzing the actual video itself when they process it?
It helps. Just like when you have, client reviews and they mention, we're in Montclair and, going to, whatever it is, like whatever they want to say. I don't know anything about Montclair, but if they say, a place at home, they come to me in Montclair and they take good care of me. And I like Sally, who comes every Wednesday and helps me with my meds or whatever it is. What you don't want to do is just like jam Montclair everywhere, because that looks like you're trying to trick the search engine. Okay. Just like naturally it should come up. Right. So if Brian and I are having breakfast in Austin, I'm not going to, if I'm in a conversation with Brian or if I'm talking about Brian, I'm not going to say, in Austin, Brian and I had breakfast, and Austin is one of my favorite places. I have this hotel in Austin and it's the south part of Austin. Like, no. Okay. Just like do it naturally, right? Just it comes up a couple times, right? Here and there. Like this goes into this whole like frequency of how long you just be natural about it, right?
Makes sense.
Here's what I want to show you. So this is all the stuff in New Jersey. Oh yeah, I flew. What was it? United Airlines out of Newark, and I got business class to go to London. And there, I'm sitting eating ice cream, and here's all these things that occurred in New Jersey. Oh, my best friend's grandparents are in New Jersey, and you can see here. This was in Milburn, New Jersey. You see this? This is automatically added to these photos when you take them on your iPhone or whatever, and you have the default, and it shows the things that you're doing and all this. So if you do this and your mobile caregivers are taking pictures and videos on their phone, this automatically is occurring. So name, I don't know, name an activity or name a food or name a thing, name anything, something. Arturo. Lasagna. Okay. I love lasagna. Okay. And let's see, is there proof of it? I think I've even had lasagna in Italy. So what's going on is the AI from Google is searching across all my stuff for lasagna. And why is there only one thing showing up so far? Is it still looking? What's this one thing? Oh, okay. There's a menu. Okay. So there's lasagna. Okay. And where is this? Oh, I was in Suriname. Suriname is basically the top part of South America. and I went to a restaurant and they had, as you can see, lasagna here, right? So is everyone understand, like, if you are taking pictures and videos, ideally videos, then this information of where it is and what's going on, like lasagna, is being picked up. The AI is already doing this. Yeah. Is everyone okay with that? Everyone understands this, right? We're using Google for the thing that it does. Like this, I'm using Google Photos, okay? So this automatically happens. I didn't have to come in and tag lasagna or Suriname or, you know, Omaha, Nebraska, right? It's automatically happening here. So if I wanted to write an article, let's say, Mitch, name any kind of activity.
Hiking.
Hiking. Oh, I love hiking because you lose weight and it's enjoyable.
There you go.
So these are all the places that I've been hiking. And you'll see I've been hiking all over the world. Well, I was hiking. Oh, look at this. This is November. I was at the Batu Caves in Malaysia in November. And I had to hike up this ridiculous set of, see these stairs here? There's this giant Buddha here. And you have to hike up these stairs to get to this cave, which is this huge thing inside, right? And as you get closer to, anyway, there's hiking going on here, right? I had to hike up these stairs. And there's other kinds of hiking. There's hiking here in Las Vegas. There's hiking. There's me and Marco, and this is some arch thing. Let's see. I'm making a video here. And here, I'm in Utah at the Wilson Arch, apparently. You see this? So it's got hiking. Like the AI is not bad, right? Did I have to? So if I'm taking photos and videos or whatever, Mitch, did I have to tag this as hiking? No. Did I have to tag this as being at Wilson Arch in Utah? So if I wanted to write an article about my 10 favorite places to do hiking, and I gave access to this to a VA, do you think that it would be very easy to pull up all the places that I've been hiking? I've been freaking hiking in India. This is like the place where Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg hung out in India to get inspiration because there's something magical about this place, right? Look, I went hiking up to the top of a volcano while there's lava down there. And this is in Nicaragua. By the way, if this was America, they would never let you within miles of this place, especially because a few years ago, this volcano erupted and killed a bunch of people. But for $10, you can drive up the path because they're poor. $10, you can drive up the path and go all and then walk the last part. You have to hike up to get to the edge of the volcano. And if you fall, that's it. Okay. So if I wanted to write an article about hiking all across the world, volcanoes, waterfalls, jungle, and then do you think a VA or me could take these photos and videos? Look, Mark he's such a clown. He's like leaning over the edge, the crater into that's like really tempting fate. You don't want to do that. Okay. Why would you do that? It's like the thing's going to then erupt and then in your face to get mad at you, But could I write an article about hiking across the world? I could, right? So I could just as easily, I could just come into now. What do you think Google will treat better? And I'm going to move this little zoom thing out of the way because I can't see the box here. So could you write an article on my blog about hiking across the world? About my favorite places are I love high cliffs. I love volcanoes. I've seen so many. I'm like a volcano nut. Jungle. I love jungle and cool places. Okay. And I want to, you have to tell it your objective. I want to rank on best hikes on the planet. Okay. This is what most people do when they're trying to do SEO. Okay. This is what not to do. Okay. I'm showing you. This is what everyone else does. This is wrong. Okay. This is ChatGPT, by the way. You should pay the $20 a month for it. And so it is writing this whole article. And then you look at this, it's pretty cool, right? And I mentioned, high cliffs and jungles. And so it writes this whole thing, right? And of course, we know that every web page or article should have an image, because Google shows lots of things like images and news and media and videos. Now generate an image for this blog post and show me and Brian Eisenberg at the top of a volcano, of a lava, what's it, lava flowing volcano. Okay. Okay. So now that's doing that. You know, the AI can generate all sorts of stuff, right? So I could just generate lots of stuff about, how do you take care, what should you do what's the difference between having mobile care versus, going to a nursing home. Okay. So I need to like show them who Brian and I look like so it doesn't do this, right? But you see the idea, right? This looks very like this is actually standing on the magma. That's probably not okay. You'd probably burn to death. I don't think you would just stand there and that sort of it would be very, very hot if the magma was right there like that. If I look at the things that a place at home ranks on, or if I look at the things I would like to rank on, let's look at some of these location service pages. Let's go to Little Rock, right? Here's the Little Rock page under the main site. The main site's got a DR25, which is like a low amount of juice, if you will. Like that's like a soda can. That's like a 12-ounce can versus a giant jug. This is not very much. 25 ranks on a couple thousand keywords, as you saw, the site overall. But for Little Rock, this page ranks on a couple dozen. And these keywords are your name, a place at home, Little Rock, a place for home, because people can't get that right. Home care, Little Rock. Okay, that's good. There's 100 people a month looking at this. We get 12. We moved from position 7 to 6, up 3. I'm just reading this here. You'd have to pay $4 a click to get it, which is fine. I would taste the traffic. I would test it out. It's like renting a car, renting a house before you decide to buy that house, right? I taste the traffic and see, is it good? $4. If it's good, then I'm going to try to go after this home care Little Rock, right? Well, we're in position 4, so there's 3 people ahead of us. So how do we get better, right? Well, I could write, so if I do a search on home care Little Rock, best way to do SEO is to actually do search, okay? Home care Little Rock. Okay, home helpers, a place at home. These guys are ahead of us. We have more reviews and better reviews, but it's not, a lot of people think it's number of reviews. That's not it. Okay, so you can see these, you see this, people also ask. So people who search for home care Little Rock, 30 of them per month, keyword difficult, super low. They're also asking, what's the most common diagnosis for home health care? And what's it cost? And what kinds of ailments are there? And why would you do home health care? And as you start asking these questions, or the Google's telling us what questions we have to answer, right? What's the most stressful illness for caregivers? I don't know, I never really thought about that. Which client would be does Medicare pay for home assistance? Like what is not covered? Like why do caregivers quit? Like that's these, do you see how Google's telling us all the other things? It's if I want to rank on home care, Little Rock, I need to answer these questions too. Does that make sense? Nobody does this. All these local businesses. So I'm flying to go see our mutual friend Roger in a couple of days. Brian and I know our buddy Roger Wakefield. He's a plumber. He's a well-known plumber. And we're teaching all these plumbers the same thing that we're teaching you guys here, except they're plumbers. So it's the same concept, right? So broken toilet, whatever. And then, oh, well, people who search for broken toilet, Dallas also, they're also asking like, why is my toilet flood? Or does putting too much toilet paper down the toilet cause it to flood? Or, whatever. Like these are things that people are asking. Okay. So given these kinds of questions, do you think that will Medicare pay me to be a caregiver for my husband? I mean, you don't do that, but these are questions that people want to know that are kind of related to home care city name. Do you think, Mitch, if I gave you a list of these top, now I did a bunch of searches that were related to what you wanted to do to your city. Do you think that, if I assembled a list of 20 or 30 of these, Mitch, that you in a Zoom call or just cell phone style could just answer them in just, 30 minutes? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. You think you could? Yeah. Does anyone here feel like they could not answer those super common questions that Google's telling us for the keyword that we want to rank on. Here's what else they're looking for. Do you not think you can answer those questions in a 1 minute answer? You don't have to be exactly 1 minute, but do you think you could do that?
And could they do that in their car, sitting in one of the neighborhoods not far from where they service a client?
See, you're like 3 steps ahead of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're like at the mall or some kind of landmark or something that Google would be able to recognize, like, oh, that's the Scottsdale Mall, right? Or that's the Flatirons in the background in Boulder. It doesn't have to be in front of like the famous tourist spot, but just in front of like, a restaurant that people go to a lot. Google and especially TikTok, they recognize these things. So just do it as, the worst thing you could do is do like what Brian and I are doing, where there's just like a map of the world, or there's just like some generic white wall behind us, because then Google can't see like, where is this, right? So as you're out and about, as your caregivers are out and about, mobile cell phone like this, and say, how much does it cost to have a mobile caregiver? Well, that's a great question, because blah, 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 blah. And it depends on these factors, and, how often they come, and how, do they have to be a nurse, and whatever it is. We're trying to fill box number 1 here. Can you fill box number 1 and answer those questions? If you can, then you're going to be able to do legitimate SEO, if you will, because then you're going to turn those things into blog posts, right? So then we have these different.
I have a dumb question. If I could just stop you for a second. So I was just
Go
trying
ahead,
to do
Adriana.
what you were saying, where I Googled home care in Inglewood, right? But then my Google is dumb. It doesn't show me what your Google shows you with those beautiful questions on the bottom. How do I get the questions on the bottom? So I guess I'm probably not using the same systems that you are using when you're
No,
searching.
it's not. So
These questions
Inglewood,
right
California?
here. Oh, I'm in Denver, Colorado. So
Oh,
I'm Englewood,
Denver. Okay,
Littleton.
yeah, south a little bit.
Yeah.
Englewood Home Care. Okay, Englewood, Colorado. There's an Englewood, New Jersey. I didn't know that. I guess, okay. All right. So here's these other people.
Yeah, so see, this people also ask, is that just part of your system?
No. If you just, all you guys can do some searches on the thing that you want to rank on, and if you just keep scrolling down, you'll see some of these. Okay. Yeah. And then Comfort Keepers, are they a competitor? Okay. Yeah. Well, I love seeing what competitors are doing. So what are these guys doing? Well, they're going to rank on their name first. Comfort Keepers, of course, their name. Home healthcare near me. Ooh, that is competitive. Red. Look at that. Really difficult. But if these guys are, they're not even ranking all that well. But private home care for elderly, that's good. That's probably like, someone who searches on that and they come to us, we probably want to be there. In-home care services, yeah. Companion care, private duty nursing. So you can see what these other guys have. Now they're a major brand, so when people are searching on your name, Comfort Keeper, that doesn't really count. Like that's not SEO. That people have already decided that there's not searching. They just don't know how to go to comfortkeepers.com. So they just type this in. This is navigational. This doesn't count. But all these other ones that don't have comfort in them, we can go after and see what they're doing. At home nursing care, nurse care. Yeah. Home care city name. Well, this is their top level. So this is across all the cities that they do this. You can see they do a little better than what we have, right? But even if you don't do it for your city, you could look at other cities, because I imagine it's going to be the same queries. People have this, when you're having to take care of your mom, it's the same thing. Like, what's really a significant difference between Englewood versus some other city, right?
I'm sharing in the chat a doc I started working on, putting together some of these questions that we were going to start putting in our Google map listing, that obviously, other than where it says Austin, Texas, everybody here can probably just change, but should give you a good idea of the type of questions that Dennis is talking about.
So the main point to be able to drive rankings is you have to have the content that tells Google that in that city, you are really good at home healthcare. And when this content's in here, we can use these different tools, which you can learn. We have tons of training on how to use these tools. Some are free. It doesn't matter which tool you use, just some tools to process it so it can then live on your GMB, on the website, on social media, so you can start to rank. So if we look at any of these locations, we'll see, like here in North Texas, has a bunch of zeros. The page has a bunch of zeros. It doesn't rank on anything. It has no links coming to it. Even though the main site carries 25, none of that 25 is passing down to the page because we're not linking to it. So it is the job of the franchisor to make sure that they are linking to this page. And then if you have a blog or if you have other friends in your city and you write a guest blog post or they interview you on their podcast or something like that, they should link to you. And they shouldn't link to a place at home.com. They should link to a place at home.com/your thing. And that's how you get this referring pages, the number of links that you get. Although I've advised the franchisor to do this on behalf of the franchisees and all the other folks that we consult for. Because you don't want these entrepreneurs that have opened a franchise to have to understand like how this linking thing works. But basically, go to one of my sites like Blitzmetrics, domain rating 72, or this one's 62. And if you write a guest blog post about, hey, here's some things that I learned in private training that Brian Eisenberg organized on SEO, and you write that up as I'm just giving this as an example, then you can write that as a guest blog post on my site here, and then you'll get a domain rating 62. So that's a highly powerful site linking to you. So it'll pass some juice. So then the juice that goes to your page, instead of being a 0, might be a 2 or a 5. Like just all it takes is a link or two. Now, Brian knows that I've done this for both good and for bad, where I'll link to other people and I'll rank on their name or I'll rank on whatever I want to rank on because I have a domain rating 62. So I can beat almost anyone else out there except the New York Times or, guys that are like above a 62. And I have 265,000 links that are legitimate media links. You can see like the media links to me and every time I've been on TV and, free ebooks, which is mine, WordStream. You can see these are all high powered sites, 75, 90, TimeCamp where customer 76. I've got all these links that come to me, right? Client Boost, they're a big PPC company, 75. I was on their podcast, right? So I have a lot of juice because there's a lot of other places that link to me. I even linked to myself from my own blog. Dennis Hughes at 44, right? So if you have something that is relevant to any of these other sites, like Brian and I have done a lot of advising for Keep. Keep used to be called Infusionsoft. They're still Infusionsoft as far as I'm concerned. And I've written so many blog posts on their blog because they're helping small businesses with their email marketing, right? This kind of thing. Domain rating 84. So every time I write an article on the Keep blog, that's passing this 84 juice. That's taking this gigantic, like swimming pool sized amount of water and dumping a little bit into my little coffee cups. So I'm just trying to collect as much juice as possible. And of course, the ones that have more juice, when they link to me, it gives me more. Because if someone else who's got no power links to me, like, I'll get like a drop of juice or not, versus like a gallon of juice from this one, if that makes, I'm trying to use this analogy of domain rating as like the amount of juice, the amount of love that we're getting from, it's not how many links, it's the power, the amount of juice we get from these links, right? So the franchisor is the one who should be passing juice to the locations. A place at home.com has a 2,000 keywords for the site overall. But the locations page has only a 12, which is okay because why would anyone link to /locations there? I mean, logically, they would link to the franchisee in that city. And there's only 30. There's very little power. So if we come down and we go to Omaha, which then goes further down to /franchise/Omaha, there's very little juice that's coming in because there's 43 links that come in from 20 domains that help you rank on these 38 keywords. So let's look at the links. I know this is a little technical, but I just want to show you a few things before hours up. Here's the links. So this is actually legit. Best of Omaha 2022. That shows a signal that, yeah, it's Omaha. And then here's a link from a place at home.com/franchise caregiver of the year. Okay, that's cool. So here's a link that shows it's Omaha. Here's another link that shows that it is from a home healthcare service. And these ones don't count for anything. These are just random directory. What is this .ca? Some Canadian thing? Like, okay, well, I guess, sure. A place at home, Papillon. I don't know why that's linking to you, but okay, fine. I don't know who Blackboard Log is, but it's no follow, so it passes no juice. Then you have some, okay, you sponsored something. Save Our Schools March. So anytime you're involved with a nonprofit or something, and they link you support the soccer team, that sends another signal that you're involved in that neighborhood. And this is a DR 37 link. It's a no follow, so it doesn't give you any. It's a tag they put to not pass any juice. Dang them. They should. Why they put a no follow on that? They should definitely include that. And then here are a bunch of basically directory listings that are here. And there's nothing wrong with listing yourself in all these different directories. They just don't carry any power. It's okay to do. It sends a signal. Google notices it, just doesn't pass any juice. So there still is, it's still useful, right? Home downsizing directory. So somebody came in here and added the Omaha location. So this home downsizing directory, the site has no power. So if the site has no power and the overall site doesn't rank on any keywords, then anything on the site, it's basically being penalized by Google. Maybe the site at one point was powerful, but just be careful. There's places where you can see they're even using the same picture here. What's going on here, right? Why are they using the same picture here? Maybe it's a default. I bet you this is like a directory spam listings place. I'm not saying don't do it, but just people call this site local citations, where you just go and list your business on like 1,000 different directories, and you can have VAs do that. And there's some value to that. But the main thing is you need to show the real signal of what you are actually doing and your caregivers are actually doing. Answer these questions because you're the franchisee, you know what the most common questions are. You don't even need to ask Google what they are. And then when you have the actual pictures and videos of doing these things, then have a VA or your son or daughter turn these into articles that live on your mini website within a placeathome.com. That's the main thing I want you guys to see. That's what will drive SEO. And if you do this, you repost this stuff on social media and people engage, right? Then that sends another signal. Here, Place at Home, North Austin. All right, here. And so I'll ask Brian a question. So you have this stuff that's occurring on social media. I'll just use Facebook. It could be Twitter. It could be whatever. Does this have an impact on search results indirectly?
It definitely seems to be showing up some improved rankings on some of the terms that we've been targeting with it. Yes.
Yeah. I had 3 days of private meetings with the head of search quality at Google a few days ago. I had to sign all these documents saying that I wouldn't, reveal what we talked about. But basically, he admitted that, yes, when you post this stuff on social media and it gets engagement and people then come to the website. So here, there's this thing at Conservatory at North Austin at a health fair. If this content, these pictures, these are real, this is not ChatGPT. If this gets repurposed to a blog post on your site, then Google can see it. So this thing here can be, not only was it a Facebook post, but it could be turned into a tweet and a LinkedIn and a Google My Business post, and which is now called Google Business Profile, but it's still GMB as far as we're concerned. It can be, that same piece of content can be reposted many different places. Yes.
Yep.
That's how you're going to do SEO. You literally need to do that to win for home healthcare city name, because it's all low competition. Every one of these that we pulled up is low competition. I look at the keyword difficulty. They're all low. It's easy. You guys are not personal injury attorney Los Angeles. Okay. That's different. Was this helpful? Is this practical? Does this make sense? My hope is that you understand SEO is not some magic thing. It's really your relationships and content. If you don't produce the content, you simply are not visible. That's the main thing. And, I don't know anything about home healthcare services. I have some friends that own Visiting Angel franchises and do some other stuff for healthcare, like actual facilities, but I don't know. So the only one who can do this is someone who has the knowledge in that city to do that. That's why you can't hire a remote weight loss coach, right? They can't work out for you. They can coach you, but see what I'm saying? That's why Roger Wakefield and I say you have to own your marketing. You can still subcontract out some of these pieces, like here. Let's see, not this one, but here, like Roger, who's the plumber guy. He and I made this whole live stream about, here's the truth about SEO. And yes, we were talking about it from the context of plumbers, but it's the same. I promise you, it's the same thing here. Like every local service business, it's the same thing.
Dennis, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
That's Nilima. So Yes, so this is a very interesting, and of course, I had a quote for this SEO thing, and it was like in dollars and dollars. I don't know what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
So I actually saw it was really good, and thank you for offering for that $30 thing, what you were offering at the start. So thank you very
Yeah.
much. This is great, but the only worry I have is being a healthcare people, we
Yeah.
always HIPAA is our big thing. So we actually cannot take that many pictures, you know.
Yeah, because of HIPAA and privacy. But you can.
So how
You
can
and that
we?
you and the caregivers can talk about, because the people do business with people, right?
Okay.
The way someone's going to select you is that they see Nalima's smile and they see kind of how you are. And if I'm choosing between Nalima, who's wearing this red outfit and she's smiling, versus these 5 other random companies, I'm going to choose the one that just seems friendlier. That's how people make decisions. They don't really know who's a better caregiver. Like if you go to, I have friends who are plastic surgeons, and their patients have no idea who the better plastic surgeon actually is. They make decisions based on things that have nothing to do with the degrees and certifications and success rates of the surgeries and things like that. But yeah,
Okay.
like
And
Stacy said, you can ask permission. Definitely.
yeah, or you can meet a caregiver after a shift in a coffee shop and talk about the type of things they did today without mentioning client, without mentioning that, but you're at that coffee shop and what does a caregiver do on a typical day? There you
Yeah.
go. That's a piece of content.
And then in addition to the stuff that's directly topical to the city, like, hey, what's your average day look like? What's your favorite restaurant in town? Just you can also ask questions that humanize them, right? About how they got started and why they're in home health care, and just things that kind of, like if you're interviewing them on a podcast, right? Because all of that sends a great signal as well, not just to Google, but to any person who's looking at selecting a provider. They see kind of the vibe of you being with that's what's really coming through, not just trying to jam home health care, nursing, city name, like include that, but just try to have a natural conversation. And then the beauty is you can edit the videos out and you can hire someone on Fiverr for $50 to do this if you don't want to mess with it, right? But just have a natural conversation, because then at least if you have the raw content, a folder full of these 1-minute videos, and maybe you invest 3 hours to do this in the next month, and then an hour every month from there, you will dominate. Even from these SEO agencies that try to ask you for thousands of dollars, those are all salespeople trying to make money off of you. They don't understand what we just talked about today. It'll blow your mind. They have the stuff I'm showing you, they don't even understand this, because they were trained to sell, not to actually deliver. They're like the car dealership person, the salesperson in the car dealership where they have a tie and they're really friendly. You are talking to a mechanic in the back, okay? And people are like, oh, I don't want to work on my own car. The transmission, it could, like burn my finger or something. No, I'm telling you, it's not that hard. It really is not. It's not like working on a car where there's like complex machines and,
Or like trying to compete for mesothelioma.
Yeah, I'm not. That's difficult. Yeah, that's $500 a click. But here, this is so simple to win. Like, I think it's the equivalent of brewing you ever have like one of those Keurig machines where you just put the pod in there and press the button? If you can do that, you can do SEO. Okay. If you can produce the content, which is the hard part, the subject matter expertise, 1-minute videos, you and the caregiver, you talking about what you do. Oh, this is the park I like, the Zelker Park in Austin, and I like to play frisbee and walk my dog. If you do that, that's the hard part. Then the easy part is taking that content and sticking it in these AI tools. And we didn't have time to go over today, but basically you upload it into ChatGPT to transcript or whatever, and these AI tools can edit all your things for you beautifully and turn them into blog posts. Like Uber drivers. Like, there's not going to be Uber drivers 10 years from now. It's all going to be self-driving. Why would anyone pay for the Uber driver? A human's going to crash. The computers are less likely to
Question for
crash.
you.
Yeah.
How frequently should we aim to, like right now, my time is very, very limited sometimes, I feel
Of
like.
course.
But how often should I aim to try to do something, whatever it may be?
I'm a big fan of putting in an hour a week, because in that hour, you can create a whole bunch of videos. You could even just do a walk and talk. Maybe you have a morning routine where you go on a walk or something, or you go to the gym. That's a great opportunity. Just to answer some of these questions. Or, oh, I'm here in Little Rock and I'm on the way to, that you do not need to overthink it. Like literally, if you're just producing some content, this is not like Gary Vaynerchuk where you got to produce 100 pieces of content a day. Okay. That no one has time for that. I don't even want to be on video. Right. And we preach this thing. So you definitely have the time to do it. And the beauty of the idea of the 1 minute video, which we teach, I'll give you access to the training, is it takes more than a minute to make the excuse. Oh, but my hair is not, oh, today's not. Just freaking make the 1 minute video. Be done.
What is the value of all the different franchise owners engaging with the other franchises' social
Oh,
content?
shoot. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Okay. So imagine a gigantic Excel sheet. All right. And across the top, the columns are every kind of local service. There's a plumber, veterinarian, home health care, gardener, chiropractor, okay, all the different like yellow page categories, okay? And then for the rows, Austin, Omaha, San Diego, all the different sorts of areas, right? So you understand like there's this big chessboard Excel sheet thing, okay? Now imagine where you are. You are in home health care, and that's the row going, sorry, that's the column going down vertically. And then you are in North Austin, right? So you trace basically a cross, right? For the thing that you do, and then for your city, right? We said for Google, because you're a local service business, you have to send Google a signal that you have a geo and category relevance. So if you're in Omaha, the row, home healthcare services, the vertical line, then anyone who's in that cross is relevant to you. So who are the other people in Omaha that you know? Well, there's my favorite ice cream place. There's where we get pizza every Friday. There's, Omaha steaks. I don't know, whatever it is, like just things about Omaha, right? And so you're not competing against the chiropractor in Omaha or whatever. If anything, you might refer with, I don't know, like the funeral home or the people that do PT or other things that are kind of related to what you do, right? And then so that's the geo showing you're relevant in that city. And then the vertical part, the category is home healthcare. Well, if you're in Omaha, you're not competing against, East Brunswick, New Jersey, right? But you're talking about home healthcare and caregivers and what to expect and telling stories and how do you hire caregivers and how do you know that they're qualified and how does the whole thing work and what's the difference between coming to your house versus all these things, the questions people have. If Jessica writes an article on how do you find the best caregivers, and she makes, in other words, she makes a little video kind of explaining like how she finds great caregivers who really care and are certified and show up on time and do good things. She just makes a quick little video about that while she's driving. But then Arturo also made a video about that, which got turned into a blog post. Each of these videos gets turned into blog posts. We really like the idea of making a video, which then gets turned into the blog because ChatGPT can like clean it up. Don't worry about ums and ahs. It'll clean it up. Well, then Stacy can link to Arturo's article on the same topic, right? And each of us can link to the other person who's talking about the same topic. Why? Because those different pages or blog posts, if you will, that are about how much does a caregiver make, right? Or what's the difference between a nurse versus, whatever, then Google is already ranking that person you're linking to for home healthcare services, whatever. So they're already relevant in the topic. So if other people who are relevant in the topic are linking to each other, not reciprocal links where if you link to me on this page, I'll link to you. That's a no-no. That's called a reciprocal, like one-to-one link from this page to this page going both ways. That's not what we're saying. Do one-way links, right? From page A to page B. And then maybe there's another one on Jessica's site that then links to Todd's thing on this other issue. So we all just kind of link to each other, but not directly trading links, okay? Just don't do that part. Then it looks natural. And Google can see that all these other people that are in the industry of caring for people that are at home, the senior care thing, and the issues they talk about and bed sores and end of life and all the different issues that you're talking about, they're going to see there's huge relevance in the category. And you have relevance in the city, okay? So we did the same thing for plumbers. So we have plumbers that are talking about slab leaks or broken toilets or whatever it is. And so they're linking
frozen
to
pipes
each other.
here in Austin.
Yeah. So maybe in Hawaii, they don't have frozen pipes. They don't have as much snow there, but there's still a lot. But even someone in Hawaii who's a plumber can say, yeah, we're dealing with volcanoes here. But if you have a frozen pipe, and then they link to so-and-so who has a whole article about frozen pipes, right? So we're creating what's not technically a link network, or in the world of SEO, they call these PBNs, which is basically a bad thing to do because it's trying to trick Google. But if someone else in our group here, and it doesn't even have to be for a place at home, is talking about the similar topic, like just to be helpful, why wouldn't we link to them? And that helps us and it helps them. Mainly it helps whoever's getting the juice. Whoever you're linking to is the one who gets more juice. But it actually helps both ways because it shows topicality. It shows like, yeah, these guys together are talking about this topic. So together they seem like they have authority. Plus, they're all on a place at home.com. So seems like it makes sense. Like this seems natural to me, and I ran this by Google and they said it was okay. And I ran it by some other friends and they said this strategy that I'm mentioning about, which is like guest blog posting, is okay. Just, it's not a link exchange. No one's paying for the links. It's not a direct one-to-one. If you link to me, I'll link to you off of that same page. It's not that, right? It's natural
Dennis,
looking
it's
links.
almost like when you tag somebody in social media, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the best way to think about it. Okay. And the number one thing in the world of SEO that drives SEO is links, not the content. So having a new website's great, but more important is the trust that comes from other people that are high authority that already rank on the thing you want to rank on, linking to you. And there's no better place than other people that do mobile elder care, senior care services. So the SEO is actually in this group right here. This is where this is the most concentrated, most relevant source of SEO right here, not from some SEO expert, because they don't have this expertise and they don't have the link power unless they own sites that already rank on the thing you want to rank, that rank above on the thing you want to rank. This group together really is I think that's why Brian got everyone together. We need to work together to make these videos that get transcribed into articles. And then from those articles, we link between each other in an appropriate kind of way. And there's SEO tools that will do this. Like if it's WordPress, Link Whisper will do that, and Rank Math, and there's all kinds of technical tools that will kind of suggest this page to link to this page. And I'd also say for this new website, each of you, so Arturo needs to have not just a page on a place at home, but basically a mini site which has many pages that he can control for many reasons.
Yeah, that's supposedly what's being rolled out.
Supposedly, but then people do this wrong, right? There's all kinds of ways of doing it wrong, like turning it into a series of landing pages, right? Or making it hard to load or slow, or things like that. Well, was this valuable, guys? Just be honest with me if this was confusing or you already knew all this. Or I want to see you guys rank. I looked across every single franchise that Brian sent me, and most of them, I mean, maybe your Google Maps and reviews are good and all that, but your general SEO across the board is weak. But I'd put most of it on the franchisor and whatever agency supposedly is doing SEO. But I just want to see you guys get more phone calls, okay?
This was great, Dennis. Thank you so much. I like to know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So the explanations were very good. Appreciate it.
But like Brian said, if you create the content, you can link between each other. And ideally, you can do that before this new site rolls out. And you don't lose any pages that are already currently being indexed. Of course, Brian knows what to look for when you move to a new site. There's all kinds of mistakes that people make when they migrate to a new site.
Yes. So thank you, Dennis. It was really helpful and very informative. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Isa.
Yeah, and I think this will be great, as the new site rolls out and, we start some business owners already talking to some SEOs and stuff like that. They know what to look for and what to expect now.
And I'm here to help advise you if you have a quick question, just no problem. Anything to make Brian look good and happy, and Stacy too, who's here. Great.
Can you share your email? I would love to pick your brain just a second.
Yep.
Like I was just chatting with the other owner in Colorado, Bambi, who she's on this call. But I'm like, can we have like a meeting together, like tag each other on social media,
No,
like all
of and film it.
strategizing
Video first.
Yeah. No, and you can get together somewhere and you can actually film each other just answering questions, and just think about how powerful those will be, right? You both have different levels of experience, come from different backgrounds. You'll be able to share stuff, and you can generate months worth of content for blog, social media, all of that just by getting together.
Do you see that from one meeting, one Zoom call? Ideally, if you're in person, it's better, but just getting together, interviewing each other like a podcast style, one meeting can generate content for months.
Oh my gosh, what is that? 2 hours away, Bambi? I think 2.5 hours away from each other. So maybe we can meet in between. But like what you were saying with that geolocation, right? That puts me out of my area. It
Don't
might
worry
still
about that
link
part.
a little bit to her area, but
that's okay.
Okay.
The most important part is you guys get together and you talk as business owners, what it's like, and what the day-to-day is like, and interview each other, right? It's like 2 podcasts in one. And make sure you have kind of like the list of questions, but you don't have to go with that exact list of questions. But like in an hour or so, like Brian said, you can have enough content to power yourself for months, and that'll put you ahead. That one long form video, if you chop it up and repurpose it according to the 4-stage content factory, that'll put you ahead of just that one thing will put you ahead of most of the home care service businesses, because they don't even have that. Because they're paying some agency who's in India or whatever, like they don't know anything about your city or about home healthcare. Make sure, by the way, when you interview each other, like does this mic sound good? This is a $59 microphone, and you can plug it into your laptop. It's called the Samsung, not Samsung, but SAMSUN Q2U mic. And you just plug this thing into the laptop, or, you're looking at me off the iPhone, you all have phones, and then this $59 mic, and it sounds great. Don't make the mistake of making video and then just like, okay, if you're doing walk and talks and short little ones that are social media, like vertical videos as you're driving, fine, you don't need a microphone. But if you're going to actually sit down, use a good microphone, because bad audio is very hard to fix.
This is Julie from the marketing team. I just wanted to say thank you very, very much for joining us.
Thank you, Julie.
Doing this for us. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah. And I tend to be a little harsh because I'm very direct. So thank you for coming, Julie. With larger companies, like a Nike or a Red Bull, I have to be very careful because it'll offend internal people. I don't want anyone to lose their jobs or anything like that. So
well, I'm not super easily offended, so we're good.
All right,
and Julie only inherited what we have currently. So,
all right, so we can't blame her. Okay, good.
No,
correct.
No,
I thought this was just franchisees. If it's franchisees, we can have a straight talk.
Very, very new and fresh. So we're trying.
Okay, but you can see,
thank
Julie,
you
what we're
very
talking
much
about.
For this. I just wanted to thank you. And I also wanted to make a comment that in the beginning, I was actually doing a lot of live videos on Facebook and just videos and posting. And I noticed the decline of calls from, just calls into the agency when I stopped doing that, because I got really busy, just like Adriana was saying. When you start, it's like you're doing everything. So I definitely believe in the videos and stuff because it was making a difference back then.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that.
And people who eventually search for you or whatever, they probably saw your Facebook at some point, because the average is now for a local service business 60 touches. So they see you in different sorts of places. And then like they see you so many times before you ever actually talk to them. It's not just like the traditional media was like 6 touches, like 6 points of like direct mail. Now it's way higher. I'll say 2 things for you, Jessica, which I think applies to everybody. One is that I bet that when you posted the Facebook, you didn't repurpose that, meaning you repost that to all the other channels.
I did.
You did? Oh, okay, great. Fantastic. Most don't.
I will post a video on Facebook and I will post it on Google.
On YouTube, right? Make a video post on YouTube?
No, I haven't used my YouTube account yet, but
YouTube's part of Google. So easy, just post it.
That was actually on one of my projects, and I'm going back to that. So
so 60-second videos that are vertical, you put that as YouTube Shorts.
Okay.
Very easy. And this is why they're trying to compete in social media. So that's point number 1, is repurpose, meaning post it to many places at once. But number 2, because that's kind of tedious, then do you have like a daughter or somebody who can just do this? So they can see that you post to Facebook is your primary, but then when they see that, they take it, copy it, and they post it to all the other places. So you don't have to be.
Yeah.
That's $3 an hour work. Okay. Look, I'm an American. I was born in Dayton, Ohio, but this is $3 an hour work. So I'd rather have someone in the Philippines who speaks good English. You can screen them. to do this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Because you don't have time for $3 an hour work, right?
I don't.
Yeah, you can hire them on Upwork, you can hire like whatever, right? But don't miss on the repurposing. But A, you have to create it, and then B, it has to get repurposed, meaning posted everywhere, especially YouTube, which is Google. Google's more likely to show something that's from their thing than wanting to show Facebook.
Well, so
right?
what you're saying is like if I post it on YouTube, it automatically goes into Google? Is that what you mean?
Not automatically, but it will definitely help you a lot.
It feeds Google.
Yes, and Google has the bias for their own thing, which has gotten them in trouble.
Yeah.
Which is to our advantage, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you again. Have a good day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jessica.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate
All right.
you taking the time today, and hopefully we'll see you in Austin soon.
Yeah, and we'll have some meat together. We like to have meetings. And the last time we had a meeting, it was at a Brazilian barbecue. So if you dangle food in front of me, I'm very likely to want to come. That's my kryptonite. Meat. I love meat.
And they had amazing salads too. Don't forget that salad bar was outrageous. Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah, absolutely appreciate it. And
Thank you.
Well, I'll follow up with you.
Awesome, guys. Holler if you need anything.
Okay. Bye-bye.